It's almost time for WWE Money in the Bank. Whoa. God, he's so fucking insincere, but the crowd sure loves him. Let's talk about this show. I'm John Renton with my review of WWE Raw from Savannah, Georgia, and about 4.5 hours up the road, Gainesville, Georgia, where somebody from there texted everybody in Savannah and said, the dogs are in the enclosed pool area, the garage side door is open. So anyway, yes, Money in the Bank is coming up in just a few days. They're going to be over in London in the UK, which is going to be very, very electric. Obviously, because the one thing about UK wrestling crowds, they will definitely let you know that they are happy you're there, and they will cheer and boo whoever the fuck they want and have some of the biggest, loudest, and weirdest cheers, because I don't always understand what they're saying, but this show actually featured quite a bit of good wrestling and a few joke segments, but that being said, one of the better episodes of Raw that they've done in a number of weeks. Recaps of the Cody Dominic stuff. They really pushed that hard. So here's Rhea and Dominic already in the ring, and they boo Dominic unmercifully out of the goddamn building. Except he doesn't leave the building. Shawn Michaels has left the building. Who cares? God, I miss Heenan and Monsoon. I really do. Bobby Heenan's Hall of Fame speech. There's only one thing missing. I wish Monsoon was here, and the collective hearts of every wrestling fan broke hearing that. So, got a lot of anger from the fans. Rhea, just good God, is what I know. God, she looks great. Cody comes out. Whoa. Hey, they love him. I'm not invested in Cody. I see right through him, but they love him. And I can't dispute that. So, Cody quotes Cat in the Hat and calls Dominic a scared little boy. Wants to do this tonight. But no, Dominic will not, but he will get his shot in later. Nakamura comes out and makes his entrance. We go to break. Nakamura against Ricochet, and here comes Bronson at ringside. And now he's going down to Savannah, Georgia to fix something. I don't actually really know what the hell I'm saying. It was okay. Both are in the Money in the Bank match, by the way. And later, Bronson gets tossed after he gets attacked. And then we get some good back and forth, and Ricochet ends up getting the win. It wasn't bad. I would be very surprised if Ricochet wins the Money in the Bank briefcase. But let's move on to Riddle challenging Gunther for an IC title shot. He did that earlier in the day. And then Riddle's being talked to by Byron. And then Kaiser shows up, Gunther shows up, and stomps on his ankle. I'm going to say right now that if Gunther loses the Intercontinental Championship to Riddle, of all people, you might as well abolish the Intercontinental Championship. Gunther needs to break the record. You can do whatever the hell you want after that. Riddle could win it, hold it for a month, you can hot potato the damn thing, but at least Gunther will have beaten the record, and we have an actual wrestler as the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion. Pierce is on the phone. Dominic wants an opponent. I called it that they were going to have him face Tozawa. Money in the Bank number rundown. And they showed clips of the pandemic edition of Money in the Bank, which was one of the worst atrocities that WWE has committed to film, digital, whatever, to camera. It actually, and I know that the pandemic, they couldn't have fans, I get it, but they went so bonkers and stupid with the cinematic bullshit. And Otis won the men's Money in the Bank briefcase. And then Asuka won the briefcase, and she was going to continue to be a warrior, while Becky went home and decided to be a mother. God, I'm going to hell for that. So Ronda with Shayna took on Raquel with Liv. Liv forgot her pants and stopped thinking about it, Kier. I know you're thinking about it. I know you're thinking about Liv without her pants. You stop it. You get some help. Seriously, get some goddamn help. Kier, what's wrong with you? I mean, we are all over here being perfectly innocent. Here you are thinking about Liv without pants. Okay, maybe the rest of us are, but nevertheless. Get help, Kier. Get help. So, they sped through this. I mean, it wasn't the most egregious thing, but I have said what I've said about Ronda in the past, and I stick by it. Even if you take away all the personal outside stuff, she may be a great athlete. She's not invested in this anymore. At one point, Liv decides to try and dive off and top Shayna, and then Raquel gets rolled up 1, 2, 3. That's how they're hyping up the Women's Tag Team Championship match for this Saturday. And then they prominently display Balor's package, where they treat it seriously. It was sports-based. They told the story of from SummerSlam 2016, the aftermath, all the way to all the shit going on, how Balor was upset that Rollins mocked him for his injury, finjury as it were. Said, I didn't get bitter, you made me bitter. Bitter beer face. God, that's a freaking callback. And then, whoa. That's all I have to say about the Balor package, by the way. It's Seth Pheasant Rollins. I might come off that one of these days, but until he stops dressing so goddamn garishly, I don't really know if I can. So, I don't know why he was in Santa's stripper tracksuit. He's fired up. He introduces Carmelo Hayes at ringside. And as I hype up NXT tomorrow, I might be dropping the NXT reviews after tomorrow, by the way, just due to not wanting to rip my eardrums out hearing Booker T on commentary. He's so fucking rotten. So, Balor gets talked about. Obviously, Rollins and Balor this Saturday. And then Balor shows up. We got a fight with a chair. Literally spill to the outside, round the outside, do. And Mello takes the chair away from Balor. And Rollins is bleeding, making him the victor. It provided that Derb is actually watching this. In case you're not busy, that's a shout to you. And now we're going to get Mello versus Balor a little bit later. Okay, I'm a little bit surprised by that, but alright. Miz attacks Ciampa during his entrance. This is after Ciampa said he was going to keep fisting Miz's ass. Might have misunderstood that. I mean, it's a feud, I guess, in storyline that makes sense, but it's also hard for me to care. Because Ciampa, as much of a beast of an athlete as he is, coming back from multiple injuries, I'm kind of sick of Ciampa. Because he'll be there, then he'll be gone, because his body can only take so much. And Miz is Miz. I mean, it's a fine undercard feud, I just don't care. More comedy with Zayn and Owens and Gunther and Kaiser. You don't like people sneaking up on you, do you? Gunther's like, I'm going to teach you a lesson. Or he taught you a lesson, Owens. I didn't learn anything. Owens just being the angry Canadian and shouting a whole bunch. Zayn will face Gunther tonight. Owens was in Seth's colorful Pride type shirt. I want to say right now, by the way, that if you have a problem with Pride, if you have a problem with gay people, LGBTQ people, then you have a problem with humanity. Gay people have existed for, well, pretty much since the beginning of time. So that's really all I have to say about that. Don't get your nose out of a storybook like the Bible. Get your head out of your goddamn ass and realize that gay people have existed and will continue to exist as long as they're good people. You can judge them if they're bad people. Don't judge them because they're gay and make them bad just because they're gay. Because they're not bad because they're gay. They're just human beings. Dominic beat Tozawa. Yeah, kind of called that. And then we get the Women's Money in the Bank Summit with Becky, Zelina, and the silver and blue wig. I thought a kid had snuck into the ring. Bayley and Io and Trish and Zoe. Now, this summit, Corey Graves hosted it, by the way. What's interesting is Zoe is familiar with summits. She originally reached the summit of Mount Sinai. She was the first person to summit Mount Sinai. She was actually the first person to reach the top of the pyramids in Egypt, which she helped oversee the plans of, oversee the construction. She came up with the plans, chiseling them out on a goddamn stone tablet. One of these days, I will stop those jokes, except I won't. Honestly, I can't stop it. But she's going to be happy to be back there in London, considering she was the only woman that got away from Jack the Ripper. And now that I'm done with that, this was not this. I'm sorry. The crowd was into Becky. They tried. I didn't care. I didn't. Io looked great. They eventually, everything breaks down. We'll see you this weekend for the Royal Rumble. At one point, Io tried to choke Becky against the ropes and then did her dive. I need Io to choke me with either the ropes or her legs. I don't really goddamn care. Make it like Tonka Johnson and Goldeneye. That would be a good way to go. So anyway, yeah, this just ended up with Becky grabbing the briefcase. You idiot. That's not how go-home shows work. If you want to win, you should be laying down, and then we think that you'll win, and now Becky won't win. Maybe she will. I don't know. She hasn't won Money in the Bank, so it's possible. And then Gunther with Kaiser took on Zayn with Owens. Owens on commentary. The crowd loved Sammy. Well worked, well wrestled, good stuff. I can't complain about this. Good near fall. Sammy can work, despite the fact I still hate that Johnny Knoxville match. That entire thing was one of the most embarrassing things I've ever seen in a WWE ring. One of the most catastrophically embarrassing things ever. At least of the last 20 years. It was as bad as Katie Vick, in my personal opinion. Now, there are people that liked it, and that's okay. But Sammy has absolutely gotten over very, very strong. The crowd loves him. Can't knock it. Can't knock the fact that he works hard. Hit a nice sunset flip bomb. Kept selling those chops like crazy. Probably didn't have to sell them because I've heard Walter Gunther's chops live. Granted, it was about 5 years ago. TV doesn't do justice for how loud they are. Big old splash for 2. Owens then attacks Kaiser. Gunther attacks Owens. Sammy dives on Gunther. And then we get a few counters. And then we get a distraction. Vinci, by the way, had shown up during this match on crutches because Riddle broke his ankle. And then we get the crutch in the face and then the powerbomb 1, 2, 3. And Gunther gets the victory. And then a melee. Riddle makes a save and uses the crutch. I say again, if Riddle wins the Intercontinental Championship this Saturday, it's toast. It's toast. All that work that Gunther put into it, it's done. Gable, Otis, and Maxine are working out backstage, and it was at this point I wanted the feed to USA Network cut immediately. This is stupid. I hate this. Gable will never be taken seriously. You might as well just pay him to sit at home the length of his contract. Balor has been in the ring, by the way, for over 10 minutes because he made his entrance after the melee with the Imperium guys and Zayn Owens and Riddle. He'd been in the ring for about 10 minutes. And Natty has a fear of, I guess the fans forgetting about her, fear of giving up, losing. She has confidence issues. I like Natty. I like Natty, and I hope that her and Rhea can actually have a competitive match this time because they had, 69 seconds? Nice. A non-match, a.k.a. just a beatdown. And now maybe they give them something competitive. Just do 8 minutes, and then Rhea can move on. But at least you give Natty something to do. Mello and Balor, they're calling Mello up soon is what I noted. I would be very surprised if he's not called up soon after SummerSlam. Maybe not. Maybe he continues to be champion. They call him up during the Rumble. And this is just a little test, a little tantalizer, as it were. It was good enough. Balor gave him quite a bit while still remaining dominant. Mello got to show off some good moves, but Balor hit the stomp. 1, 2, 3. No complaints about the match. And then Kathy's interviewing Cody. The goodest boy is there. Pharaoh, at least the other dog in that relationship, aka his stupid wife, wasn't there. I don't know. Pharaoh may have a nice wife. Hey-oh, no, Pharaoh looked all happy. The goodest boy, as it were. And, yeah, then we get Bloodline recaps. It was good to see Pharaoh. And then Cody gets his pyro and, whoa, faces Priest. Rhea and Dominic come out during the match. Typical stuff. Priest leaned into the goddamn cutter. Leaned into it. If he leaned any more into it, his head would have been 10 feet into the earth. We get distractions also and other stuff. Then we get the cutter, and then we get Crossroads 1, 2, 3. Dominic gets one shot from behind, powders, and that's your hype for Money in the Bank. There we are, folks. Not a bad episode. Nothing that I really am going to go crazy over, but nothing I need to necessarily knock. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Rutland. I'll see you soon.